Good morning, friends. In our previous lecture, we have discussed regarding the EMP pathway, that is Embden-Mayrov-Parnas pathway, which is also known as glycolytic pathway, where we discuss the breakdown of glucose to pyruvic acid, and it contains two steps: preparatory phase and payoff phase. In preparatory phase, we discuss the glucose molecule is prepared for the reaction, and in payoff phase we discuss there is a generation of energy in the form of ATP as well as in the form of reducing power, that is NADH. So different types of reactions are there. Actually 9 reactions are there: phosphorylation as well as isomerization, then cleavage, then dehydrogenation, dehydration, and enolase reaction is there. So different reactions are there. Ultimately glucose is converted to pyruvic acid. Now we are studying here what is the significance of EMP pathway. See here, this pathway is universal pathway for degradation of glucose to generate ATP and reducing power, that is NADH and H+. Universal pathway means it occurs in many microorganisms, and we know that the variation of metabolic pathway is due to the presence or absence of particular enzymes. So depending upon presence or absence of particular enzymes, the pathways are variable in various microorganisms. But it is seen that this pathway is universal for degradation of glucose, which is a monosaccharide. So it is one of the major significance here, and it is necessary for aerobic and anaerobic respiration as well as for fermentation. Aerobic respiration means when the respiration occurs in presence of oxygen, that is aerobic respiration. Anaerobic respiration means when the respiration occurs in absence of oxygen, that is anaerobic respiration. So you have to remember that respiration and fermentation both are modes of ATP generation. Both in processes there is a energy generation. It may be aerobic, it may be anaerobic, or it may be fermentation process. So all these are ATP generating process. So it is necessary for aerobic and anaerobic respiration as well as for fermentation process. Whatever pyruvic acid is produced in this pathway, that pyruvic acid is further reduced to various compounds and various end products. Pyruvic acid sometimes is converted to acetaldehyde. Acetaldehyde is converted into ethanol. So in most of the microorganisms, there is a production of ethanol from pyruvic acid. Sometimes pyruvic acid undergo reduction and there is a formation of lactic acid. So pyruvic acid, whatever produced in this particular pathway, that will be diverted either to production of ethanol or to production of lactic acid, or in aerobic phase it will enter in TCA cycle, tricarboxylic citric acid cycle. So not only pyruvic acid is the only end product here, but whatever pyruvic acid is produced, that will be diverted into other compounds to produce other end products, or it will enter in aerobic phase of respiration, that is TCA cycle. The intermediates of glycolytic pathway are used in other metabolic process. Whatever intermediate compounds are produced, you might have discussed this, you might have studied this pathway and you studied that there is a production of different intermediate. For example, fructose 6-phosphate, for example fructose 1,6-diphosphate, for example glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate, dihydroxyacetone phosphate, phosphoenol pyruvate, like that. So these are the intermediate of glycolytic pathway. So these intermediates are used in other metabolic process, means to synthesize other macromolecules or other amino acid. For example, phenylalanine is the amino acid, tryptophan, tyrosine, these are amino acid. So phenylalanine, tryptophan, tyrosine, all these are synthesized by using phosphoenol pyruvate. Phosphoenol pyruvate or phosphoenol pyruvic acid. So it is important to remember that whatever intermediates are produced during this reaction or reaction steps, these intermediates are not wasted at all. These are utilized to synthesize other macromolecules. Energy is liberated, no doubt, but simultaneously whatever intermediates are produced, these intermediates are utilized to synthesize other macromolecules or amino acids. If we consider net gain of ATP molecule during this particular pathway, so totally 8 ATP molecules are formed during this pathway. 8 ATP molecules. 2 ATP molecules from direct glycolysis and 6 ATP molecules generated from the payoff base chain, like that. So total will be 8 ATP molecules. If we considered the dehydrogenation reaction, then NADH is there. So NAD1, when one NAD enters in electron transport chain, 3 ATP molecules are there. So 2 dehydrogenation steps are there. So 3 into 2, 6 molecules of ATP. And from 1 3-diphosphogylic acid to 3-phosphoglyceric acid, there is 1 ATP molecule generated directly. And from phosphoenol pyruvate to pyruvate, again 1 ATP is there. So 6 plus 2, 8. So net gain will be 8 ATP molecule. Then the next pathway is HMP pathway. Now this is regarding the EMP pathway, okay, glycolytic pathway and its significance. Glucose to glucose 6-phosphate, glucose 6-phosphate to fructose 6-phosphate, fructose 6-phosphate to fructose 1,6-diphosphate. It undergo cleavage by aldolase. Glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate and dihydroxyacetone phosphate will be produced. Glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate converted into 1,3-diphosphogylic acid, 1,3-diphosphogylic acid to 3-phosphoglyceric acid by the enzyme phosphoglycerate kinase, 3-phosphoglyceric acid to 2-phosphoglyceric acid, and 2-phosphoglyceric acid to phosphoenol pyruvate enolase, phosphoenol pyruvate to pyruvate by pyruvate kinase. So pyruvate will be end product. This is EMP pathway. Now the second pathway we are studying here, that is the HMP pathway, hexose monophosphate pathway. HMP, hexose monophosphate pathway. Hexose means 6 carbon sugar, that is glucose. So hexose monophosphate pathway, it occurs in most of the organism where, for example, in prokaryotes and eukaryotes, both kind of organism, this pathway may occur. It is depending upon presence or absence of typical enzyme. Here EMP pathway is not there in some microorganism because the enzymes required for EMP pathway is not there, and therefore the HMP pathway will occur in that particular organism. So basically this pathway occurs in both prokaryotic and eukaryotic microorganism. So it is an alternative pathway to glycolysis and TCA cycle. TCA cycle means tricarboxylic citric acid cycle for oxidation of glucose. It is also known as pentose phosphate pathway, hexose monophosphate pathway or pentose phosphate pathway. Pentoses means 5 carbon sugars are intermediate compound. So it is a pentose phosphate. And why it is called as hexose monophosphate? Starting compound is glucose always. So glucose is 6 carbon sugar or hexose. So it is known as hexose monophosphate. One phosphate is there. So it is a hexose monophosphate. Why it is called as pentose phosphate pathway also? Because the intermediate compounds are pentoses during the reaction. Glucose 6-phosphate. Glucose to glucose 6-phosphate reaction is same as in EMP pathway. So glucose molecule is ready for the reaction after phosphorylation. Therefore, glucose generally resists breakdown. It is very stable molecule. So it should be made ready for the reaction, and it will be possible only by phosphorylation process. So glucose is phosphorylated to glucose 6-phosphate, which is the starting compound of this pathway. And the pentose phosphate pathway has 2 stages, hexose monophosphate pathway or pentose phosphate has two stages, oxidative stage and non-oxidative stages. So it includes approximately 7 reactions. In case of EMP pathway, what we discuss? Preparatory phase and payoff phase. In HMP pathway, there are two reactions, oxidative and non-oxidative reactions. So what is the oxidative stage here? What type of reactions are seen during the oxidative stage? Firstly, the oxidation of glucose 6-phosphate to form 6-phosphogluconate. 6-phosphogluconate. This reaction is catalyzed by the enzyme glucose 6-phosphate dehydrogenase, where NADP get reduced to NADPH. Whenever there is a reduction or dehydrogenation type of reaction, either NAD is going to accept hydrogen from the substrate molecule, or NADP is going to accept hydrogen from the substrate molecule, or FAD is going to accept, FAD or FMN is going to accept the hydrogen. Here NADP is the electron or proton acceptor, hydrogen acceptor. So the first reaction is that glucose to glucose 6-phosphate as usual by hexokinase, and glucose 6-phosphate undergo the oxidation reaction to form 6-phosphogluconate. 6-phosphogluconate. The enzyme catalyzing this particular step is dehydrogenase. Glucose 6-phosphate dehydrogenase, where NADP get reduced to NADPH. This is the first reaction. Second, 6-phosphogluconate is oxidatively decarboxylated. Decarboxylation means one carbon. It's not until you fall that you fly when you taste. 6-phosphogluconate is oxidatively decarboxylated to form ribulose 5-phosphate. Ribulose is pentose sugar. Okay, it is a pentose sugar. So 6 carbon compound is converted to 5 carbon compound. Means one carbon is removed. One carbon is removed off from the 6 carbon compound. One carbon is less. So 6 minus 1, 5. So 5 carbon compound is formed. That is the ribulose. Ribulose is 5 carbon compound. Ribulose 5-phosphate. CH2OH, C double bond O, CHOH, CHOH, CH2OP. This is the formula for ribulose 5-phosphate. So in reaction second, 6-phosphogluconate is decarboxylated to form ribulose 5-phosphate. Again, this reaction is also catalyzed by enzyme dehydrogenase, where NADP get reduced to NADPH. First two reactions are catalyzed by dehydrogenase enzyme. One, glucose 6-phosphate to 6-phosphogluconate. The enzyme will be again dehydrogenase. 6-phosphogluconate is decarboxylated to form ribulose 5-phosphate. Again there is a dehydrogenation or dehydrogenase enzyme is there, and again NADP get reduced to NADPH. So here we observe that there are two dehydrogenation reaction sequentially, and in both the reaction NADP get reduced to NADPH. So there is a reducing power generation. This is actually oxidative step, and at the end of oxidative phase, two molecules of NADPH and one molecule of ribulose 5-phosphate are formed. Okay, so at the end of oxidative phase, what we observed? Two molecules of NADPH and one molecule of ribulose 5-phosphate are formed. Then the second phase start. Second stage, you can say non-oxidative stage. Again I will repeat, HMP pathway is pentose phosphate pathway. It is also called as pentose phosphate pathway. It occurs in both prokaryotic and eukaryotic microorganisms. Here the glucose 6-phosphate is decarboxylated to ribulose 5-phosphate. So there is a 6-phosphogluconate, and 6-phosphogluconate is again decarboxylated to form the ribulose 5-phosphate. Both in case dehydrogenase enzyme is catalyzing the both reactions where NADP get reduced to NADPH. This is the first phase of the pathway, HMP pathway. Now the second phase follows non-oxidative stage. The non-oxidative stage includes isomerization, epimerization reaction and cleavage, carbon-carbon bond cleavage. In this non-oxidative stage, 3 reactions are main. One is isomerization, second one is epimerization, and third one is the carbon-carbon bond cleavage. Cleavage means breakdown. So the first one is isomerization and epimerization reaction. It transforms ribulose 5-phosphate either to ribose 5-phosphate or to xylulose 5-phosphate. Ribulose 5-phosphate is converted either to ribose. What is the difference between ribulose and ribose? Ribulose means ketose form is there, CH2OH C double bond O. In ribose, aldose group is there, CHO group. So ribulose is converted to ribose. Just remember, ribulose 5-phosphate is converted to ribose 5-phosphate, or ribulose 5-phosphate may be converted to xylulose 5-phosphate. When ribulose to ribose conversion is there, enzyme will be isomerase. And when ribulose 5-phosphate to xylulose 5-phosphate conversion is there, epimerase enzyme is there. So, simultaneously, isomerization and epimerization, both the reactions are there. Ribulose 5-phosphate to ribose or ribulose to xylulose 5-phosphate. Now, the cleavage is there after that. So this step includes series of reactions involving carbon-carbon bond cleavage and formation reactions that convert 2 molecules of xylulose 5-phosphate and 1 molecule of ribose 5-phosphate. See here, xylulose 5-phosphate is ketose type of the sugar compound, sugar phosphate. Ribose 5-phosphate is aldehyde type of the sugar phosphate. So both the reactions, that means both the reactants, they are reacting together.
It's not until you fall that you fly. When you chase.
Hello? So here, xylulose 5-phosphate and 1 molecule of ribose 5-phosphate to form 2 molecules of fructose 6-phosphate and 1 molecule of glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate. Okay. Ribose 5-phosphate and xylulose. These are the 2 molecules. They are converting into fructose 6-phosphate and glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate during the set-off reaction. So here mainly transketolase and transaldolase, these 2 enzymes are catalyzing stepwise reaction. So how the reaction occur? Firstly, transketolase enzyme catalyzes transfer of C2 unit, carbon number 2, from xylulose 5-phosphate to ribose 5-phosphate. Xylulose 5-phosphate is 5-carbon compound. Ribose 5-phosphate is also 5-carbon compound. So there is a condensation of 2, 5 plus 5, 10. So 10 carbon compound should be produced. So here, how 10 carbon compound is there? In one compound, 7 carbon atom is there. In another compound or another product, 3 carbon compound is there. 7 carbon compound is known as whatever produced after reaction, that is pseudoheptulose 7-phosphate. And second one will be the glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate. So 7 plus 3, 10. So here transketolase catalyzes transfer of C2 unit from xylulose 5-phosphate to ribose 5-phosphate, yielding glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate and pseudoheptulose 7-phosphate. Trans-ketolase enzyme requires thymine pyrophosphate as coenzyme function. Now you should remember that for every enzymatic action there is a necessity of coenzyme or cofactor. Coenzymes means these are the organic form of the enzyme. Cofactor means inorganic form of the enzyme. So coenzymes may be NAD, FAD, FMN like that, or NADP. Here the trans-ketolase enzyme require thymine pyrophosphate as a coenzyme function. Now the trans-aldolase enzyme will be catalyzing the next reaction. After synthesis of pseudoheptulose 7-phosphate and glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate, these two products in previous reaction which are formed, they interact together, and here the enzyme catalyzing reaction will be trans-aldolase. So 7 plus 3 again 10. So resulting products will be erythrose 4-phosphate and fructose 6-phosphate. Fructose 6 means 6 carbon, erythrose 4-phosphate 4, 6 plus 4 again 10. So it will be again come to 10. Okay. So here pseudoheptulose 7-phosphate react with glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate to form erythrose 4-phosphate and fructose 6-phosphate. So this reaction will be catalyzed by the enzyme trans-aldolase. Okay. Now again the next reaction will be followed by again trans-ketolase enzyme. So here a C2 unit is transferred from a second molecule of xylose 5-phosphate to erythrose 4-phosphate. Erythrose 4-phosphate is formed in the previous reaction. This erythrose 4-phosphate contains 4 carbon. So erythrose 4-phosphate react with xylose 5-phosphate, means 5 plus 4, 9 carbon compound will be produced here. So here which compound is produced ultimately? Fructose 6-phosphate and glyceraldehyde. Again it will come up to 9. So xylose 5-phosphate reacts with erythrose 4-phosphate to produce fructose 6-phosphate and glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate. The reaction will be catalyzed by the enzyme trans-ketolase. So here it is a second trans-ketolase reaction where a C2 unit is transferred from a second molecule of xylose 5-phosphate to erythrose 4-phosphate to form the glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate and fructose 6-phosphate. So this is regarding the HMP pathway. What we have discussed: glucose to glucose 6-phosphate, glucose 6-phosphate to 6-phosphogluconate. 6-phosphogluconate is converted into ribulose 5-phosphate. Ribulose 5-phosphate undergo isomerization and epimerization to produce ribose 5-phosphate or xylose 5-phosphate. Ribose and xylose condenses together by series of trans-ketolase and trans-aldolase reaction to form pseudoheptulose 7-phosphate and glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate. Again, pseudoheptulose 7-phosphate and glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate condenses together to form fructose 6-phosphate and erythrose 4-phosphate. Again, erythrose 4-phosphate condenses with xylose 5-phosphate to form again fructose 6-phosphate and glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate. So this is the HMP pathway. Now what is the significance of hexose monophosphate pathway? This pathway is the only cytoplasmic pathway that produces NADPH. That means reducing power in the form of NADP. So this NADPH molecule work as reducing agent during anabolic reaction leading to synthesis of various biomolecules. We know that anabolic reactions that lead to synthesis of different macromolecules in the cell, and anabolic reaction requires energy in the form of ATP or reducing power, it may be there. So whatever molecules NADPH or reducing power is generated in the form of NADPH, that molecule work as reducing agent during the anabolic reaction, and there is a synthesis of different biomolecules or macromolecules. So this is one of the major significance of HMP pathway, that it produces energy in the form of reducing power or NADPH, and which is utilized to synthesize different macromolecules. or for the anabolic reactions. This is one major significance. Secondly, the non-oxidative phase generate erythrophore phosphate, which is utilized to synthesize aromatic amino acid. Aromatic amino acid means phenylalanine, tryptophan, tyrosine. These are aromatic amino acid. So in amino acid biosynthetic pathway, erythrophore phosphate is required to synthesize these three amino acids. So whatever erythrophore phosphate is synthesized during this pathway, that will be diverted to synthesize these three amino acids. And vitamin B6 and ribose 5-phosphate, which is produced in the pathway, that is used in synthesis of nucleotides and nucleic acid. Nucleic acid means DNA, RNA. So we know in DNA, RNA, in DNA deoxyribose is there, RNA ribose sugar is there, and nucleotides means adenosine, adenine, thymine, guanine, okay, cytosine, like that. So in the synthesis of nucleotides, these are the actual nitrogen base, but nitrogen base sugar plus phosphate. So that is a nucleotide. So to synthesize nucleotides and nucleic acid, DNA, RNA, there is a synthesis of these nucleic acid due to ribose 5-phosphate. So ribose 5-phosphate, which is synthesized in this pathway, is not wasted. This is utilized to synthesize nucleic acid further. So what is the significance here? Whatever reducing power is generated in the form of NADPH, that is not wasted. This is utilized for anabolic reaction to synthesize different biomolecules. This is one significance. Secondly, the erythrophore phosphate, which is produced in this pathway, is utilized to synthesize aromatic amino acid. For example, tryptophan, tyrosine, phenylalanine. And the ribose 5-phosphate, which is synthesized there, which is produced there in the reaction, that ribose 5-phosphate is utilized to synthesize nucleic acid and nucleotides, which are the macromolecules. So this is regarding the reaction and significance of HMP pathway. Thank you.